Hello and welcome back to a new episode of the Peak Signing Agents podcast and YouTube channel. I'm your host, DVO, Derek Van Otten, and thank you for joining me. I'm here to help you become the best notary and signing agent that you can possibly be. I am recording this in the nice, warm, cozy office space that I have. And because there's a winter weather warning going on, not necessarily in my state, however, but in the Midwest and East. However, not uncommon in January, but I did have a friend post that they were at the airport and all these flights got canceled. I had a client just call me and said, "Hey, we have a signing coming up in Tennessee, and I know there's some weather issues coming about. Are we okay?" So I thought, yeah, let's talk about this because it is going to happen. Winter weather storms coming in December, January. Not uncommon, like I said, but it does causes issues for us as notaries, specifically as signing agents. And I wanted to talk about that and talk about what you can do to provide great service. So first of all, yeah, winter weather causes issues. I just did a post on my social media, which you can go and follow us at Peak Signing. And I did a post about the winter storms. I was watching the Weather Channel this morning just to get more updated on it. Yeah, it's coming. Winter snow hitting hard on the East Coast and then really frigid temperatures along the Midwest. Frigid temperatures cause issues as well. I don't get into that. So let's talk about us as notaries and signing agents. Number one thing, you got to be safe. Be safe out there. Drive safely. All right. Try not to rush. Try not to book yourself back-to-back appointments and then you're rushing to appointments, which may cause accidents. We all know causing accidents just delays everything. So be safe, number one. Make sure you have good tread on your tires, good brakes, know how to operate in the snow. And if you just feel like it's going to be an unsafe driving condition, let the signing service know. Let them know that, hey, you know what, just so you know, we've got snow coming or this area is just a little out of the way. I can't do it. You know, just let them know. Don't take jobs if you think it's going to be bad. Don't take the job and then at the last minute cancel and then they're scrambling to find somebody. You know, make sure it's a job that you know you can take. Keep an eye on the weather. I mean, I always am checking the weather before I get a signing. I live in the Salt Lake area. And I do closings up in the mountains. There's not a lot of notaries up there, and I'm willing to do it, and usually for a little higher of a fee. I'm willing to drive up in the mountains. But if I see an order come in up in the mountains, I actually am going to check the weather before I hit yes to that. I'm making sure it's not, because I'm not going to drive up there in the snow. And so I always check the weather first, and I always make sure that my mobile office has good tire tread before the winter. Actually, just got new tires recently, so I know that. Just got new brakes put on as well. So you know, my mobile office is ready to go in the winter, in the snow. I try to avoid it if it's going to be bad, but that's what I'm watching out for. So I want you to be safe, number one. And then also try not to cancel last minute. People may understand if you're running late because of the weather. If you're running late, people understand. I'll tell you guys a story. When one winter, it was really bad. And I could not get to the signing. The traffic was so slow. And I even left early because I knew the snow was there. I looked at my GPS. It said, it'll take you, like 40 minutes to get there, which would normally be like 20 minutes. It would take you 40 minutes to get there. I was on track. It was so bad. So bad. I was on track to be 2 hours late. I mean, I even had to pull over into a cafe just to get off the roads. Because it was getting so bad. Like they need the snowplows to come here and clean this off. It was getting so bad. And I called the signers. I let them know. I'm like, I'm sorry, I cannot get to you today. The weather is so bad. They say, oh, we understand. We understand. We have to get to work though. We can do this after work when we come home later tonight. So it went from being at, I think 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning to we moved it to 6 p.m. in the evening. That's when they get home from work. And I said, that'll be fine because that's probably when the roads will be cleared. I just sat at this cafe for a couple hours. I ordered breakfast and just sat there. I had to wait for the snowplows to come and clean. I couldn't be out on the road. I didn't have my mobile office. I had a different vehicle. This was like, I think, my first or second year in business, maybe my first winter in business, and it was a really bad snowstorm. But I let the people know, and they totally understood, because they obviously can look out their window and see how bad the weather was. I had another year. This was maybe 2 years ago, and we got dumped on the night before. So I was out, and I was shoveling the snow out in my driveway, and as soon as I was shoveling it, it was collecting again. And one of my clients called me on my cell phone, and she said, and I wasn't assigning service yet, and she said, "Hey, are you working today?" And I said, "Well, technically, yes, I'm working today. The problem is there's 3 feet of snow in my driveway that I can't get cleared, and I can't leave my house." And she said, "Same with me. I can't leave either, and I have this last minute closing." So I think they ended up just postponing it. And I think they had to let the lender know, "Hey, we're not going to be able to do this. We can't get out to your signer, your borrower, and we can't do this today." And just guys do. I hate saying it, but I'm like, I got to be safe. I can't even get out of my driveway. So number one, as signing agents who are out in areas that snow, let them know. Let them know and be safe, first of all. The second thing I want to say is keep everyone updated with the weather. So especially at month end, I just got off the phone with my schedulers, right? I just had a team meeting with my schedulers. And I just told them, I said, "Hey, it's month end. We should always be paying attention to the disbursement date to know when it's funding, but we should be paying very close attention to the disbursement dates and let everyone know what's going on. Like, keep our client updated. When they say, 'Hey, we have a closing happening in Massachusetts and we need documents back tomorrow,' we need to let them know and be realistic with them. Say, 'We will get this coordinated with you, but you need to be aware there is a winter storm coming.'" So, if you're a signing service, as a signing agent, let everyone know. We will do our best to accommodate this, but just so you know, there might be delays. Here are what the delays can be. Even like I said, even if there's frigid temperatures, if there is ice on the runways, the flights will not fly out. How do you think a closing happens at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. on the East Coast, and then by the next morning, the documents are back on the West Coast or the Midwest? Because it's flying, right? It's flying. It's only going to take a few hours to fly direct. So frigid temperatures, if there's ice on the runways, FedEx, UPS will not fly. They will not fly. If the weather is really bad, they will not fly. Here's another thing. Trucks that are picking up the documents from FedEx, UPS, and the hubs, they might have earlier pickup. So if the normal pickup is 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, they might be picking up around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock because of the weather, the bad weather. They're going to be driving slower, the trucks. They need to go to all the locations still and pick up all the packages and then drive them to the airport, get them loaded, and to fly out. So there might be earlier pickups. That's what I just put in my post today on my social media. There might be earlier pickups. So if you think the pickup is 4:30 usually, it might now be 3 o'clock. Call your local FedEx, UPS and find out if they have earlier pickups, especially when there's bad weather. Storms, hurricanes, snow, whatever. Call your local FedEx, UPS. Find out if they have earlier pickup because of the bad weather. Communicate that with everyone. That's what my key takeaway is. Pay attention to the disbursement date. Again, especially at month end, be paying close attention, but really be paying close attention and just notice, okay, you want this back tomorrow. You need to fund this tomorrow. Hey, I need to let you know there's earlier pickup today. There's bad weather today. I will drop this off. It will be there as normal pickup time, but I can't control FedEx and UPS if they cancel flights or there's any delays. If you just communicate with that, keep everyone aware. Because somebody in, Southern California, when it's 80 degrees today, They're not paying attention to, oh, it's -10 and snowing in New York today. They're not really maybe being aware of that if the signing service is based out of Southern California and it's 80 degrees. So again, just things to keep in mind. Moving pieces are happening, and you just want to be paying attention. Pay close attention to all of the details. Keep everyone informed, and foremost, again, be safe out there. All right, I'm rooting for you. Keep being awesome, and I'll talk to you next episode.